Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to be see how to create the web browser in Java Swing. For that, I just import a library of java.awt. Then I just import another library of java.awt.event. Okay, now import javax.swing and then import java.net. For net, I just import this library. Uh, then import java.input output. Now here we have the class name which is web browser, and now I just write private and j frame. So j frame variable is frame. Now private, and the private here is j panel. So the panel is panel top. Now private j editor, and now here I just write name which is editor. Okay, and this is editor. Sorry, it's editor pan. Private j scroll pan, and I just set the name which is scroll. Now again private j text field, and now here I just write field. So private j button, and now here I just write button. Okay, and private URL, and it's a URL here. Now public and browser, and the browser here is public web browser, and it's a string of title. Okay, now I just write initiate components, and then I just write frame dot set title. So I just set the title to my frame, so which is title. Now I just set the default close on frame. So frame dot set default on close operation, and j frame dot exit on close. Now I just set the size of the frame. So frame dot set size, and size here is 800 and 600. Now I just add the j panel to the frame. So frame dot add, and border layout dot north, and then I just write panel top. So I just add this frame into the north layout. Now I just write panel which is top add, sorry top dot add, and add here is field. So I just add this text field here. Okay, so this text field and the navigation button to the j panel, and this is panel top. Okay, now frame dot add, and add here is border layout dot center, and then it's scroll. So I just add a scroll pan to the j frame center. Now I just set the frame visible. So frame dot set visible, and visible here is true. Now I just create the method to this initiate component. So private, and here I just write void in components. Okay, so method to that one, and now I just create the frame here. So I just write frame which is equal to new j frame. Now panel top which is equal to new j panel. So I just create the j panel to use, hold the text field and the button. Okay, now I just write means after this panel I just set the URL. So try and URL which is equal to new URL, and here I just set the URL which is http and https dot double dot and double backslash www.google.com. So this is by default a text field, means a URL. Now I just write catch to catch the exceptions. So I just write mul formed and then URL exception which is MUE. Okay, now I just write J option pan dot show message dialog, and here I just write null which is MUE, means this one, as closes code here. So I just close this code here and remove one string from here. So null which is MUE, and now we go to the means here we have our constructor area is closed here, and then now I just create the JEditor pan here. So same, I just write try editor which is equal to new J editor pan, and here I just pass the URL. Now I just set the editor pan to the false. Editor dot set, sorry it's editor dot set edit, sorry editable, and here I just write false. Okay, so it's a editor like this one. Okay, now I just catch this exception. So input output exception, and here IOE, or you can simply write E. Okay, so J option pan dot show message dialog, and the components are null and E. Okay, now I just create the scroll pan and add the J editor pan to it. So a scroll pan which is equal to new J scroll pan, and editor, sorry editor dot J scroll pan dot, sorry here I just write editor and then J scroll pan dot vertical scroll bar. Sorry, I just did a mistake. Vertical scroll bar as needed. When we need the scroll bar vertical, so it will show us the scroll bar. So scroll pan dot horizontal scroll bar as needed. Now I just write field which is equal to new, field which is equal to new j text field, and now I just set the j text field text to the URL, and here I just write swing utilities and utilities dot invoke later, which is new and runnable. Now, sorry, it's new and runnable, which is this one. And here I just close this code, and now I just write public void run. Okay, and field dot set text, and the text is url dot to string. Okay, so we are not doing this on the event dispatch thread, so we need to use swing libraries only for that. Okay, and here I just write, I just create a button. Okay, so, and here close this code, and I just create a button here now. So button which is equal to new j button, and the button I just write go URL. Okay, now I just add the action listener to the button. So button dot add action listener, and the action listener is new action listener. Okay, and it's new action listener, and here I just write public void action performed and action event e. Okay, and here I just write try, and the try is editor dot, sorry, it's editor dot set, and set is the page here. So page is field dot get text. Okay, and now catch, catch is input output exception, and which is exception is e, and now j option pan dot show message box, message dialog box, which is null, sorry, which is null and e. Okay, e is a exception here. So our code is create closed here, and then I just remove this code here, and our initiate component area is closed. Now I just give one curly bracket here, and now I just write public static void main, and then string arguments. So here I just write swing utilities dot invoke letter and new runnable, and here I just write public void run and then new and the name of this web browser class, and here I just paste the name of this web browser class, and then I just write simple web browser and close this code here and close this code here, and I just close this code here. So this is the ending of the main area and this is the ending of the browser. So swing utilities, and here I just write swing and utilities, and then here I just create or change it to the merge form, and then editor, change the name here, and the swing utilities, so create the constant to the swing utilities. Now I just check the code here. So swing utilities here and editor, and then swing and utilities. Okay, now just check the output, and this is the exception e and here I just also write the exception e. So I just run this code right now, and here you can find the output of this code. So google.com here you can see, and now I just write here, which is java.com or a udemy.com. Okay, it's a java.com website, and here udemy.com, and right click on go. So I just click on go, but it is not go through the udemy.com website. I don't know why, but this is a simple example of web browser in Java. Thanks for watching this lecture.